What's up, everybody? Crypto Noah back with another video. I got my brother Andrew on the line. We're going to be talking about Octav.Fi, Octave Finance. They are a Web3 dashboard that essentially helps you as an investor keep everything organized, tracked. They help you save time doing things like rebalancing and knowing what weight you have on what positions. We're going to be going through everything. So, AJ, thanks for jumping on, man. I met AJ at East Denver a few weeks ago and gave me a full breakdown on the software, and now I'm going to be using this over dbank. I'll probably never use dbank again. So AJ, how you doing, man? Thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me. Great to hear. And yeah, it was great to meet you in Denver, so thanks for having me, man.
No problem, man. Well, normally how I like to get started with these is just doing an introduction of the guest. So if you don't mind just telling us a little bit about how you got into crypto and how you ended up at Octave.
Yeah, it's kind of a long story there. I'll spare some of the details, but basically, I was raised in a very libertarian household and was interested in cryptocurrency from a very kind of young side of maybe about middle school. So got interested in Bitcoin very early on. I didn't hold a lot or touch it much, but was interested in the ethos and some of the kind of early ideas with the Silk Road and more P2P businesses trying to get off of some of these centralized standards. So that's kind of how I originally got introduced into crypto, and then maybe around DeFi summer age, I got a little bit older, had a little bit more money, and so then I was able to come in and experiment. So just fell in love with DeFi and really dove into the ecosystem and just tried to help out or participate wherever I could. And with that, I kind of started a small like family and friends fund and needed a way to track that, and so got very into wallet dashboards. There's a lot of different ones, and I tried all of them out back in the day, and Octave was my favorite. So I went to East Denver specifically just to meet the Octave team and met Matt there, our CEO, and became good friends with him and joined the team the year later. So I've been around officially on the team for about a year, but been one of the earliest users. I think I started using it the first week it came out. So that was about 3 years ago. So that's kind of how I got here. Yeah.
That is definitely a path of least resistance. Normally it's a little bit more troublesome, I find. But yours is very solution oriented. I like that. So cool, man. So now that we're talking about it, can you kind of like give like an overview explanation as to what is Octave-Fi?
Yeah, we'll dive into the software and kind of walk through everything. Before that, I guess just a general overview of Octave is we're a Web3 financial data platform. So we help teams with treasury management or individuals. You get to see your portfolio, you get to see all your different funds, your different strategies. But then we take that data for kind of down the line, higher level things. So we give you analytic breakdowns, NAV reports. You can use our transaction logs for accounting, bookkeeping, general tracking. So it's kind of about how you want to interpret the data and use it. We provide all of that through the API as well if you want to go bring it into your own product. But that's kind of a general idea overview, and we can dive into the product and actually show some use cases.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys have use cases for novice investors and more more advanced investors, people who are running hedge funds, managing treasuries and things like that.
Yep. Yeah. With that, we have different ways for different people to get involved. If you're an individual, you have just a small portfolio, you can log into Octave and use it for free and just track your portfolio that way. And if you're a little bit more advanced user, really need to get into the weeds, that's where the pro subscription can come into play. And you can have some of those more advanced features like NAV breakdown reports, CSV export, or you can get involved with the automations to track like you're a high frequency trader or a protocol that has fee contracts, or through the API. We work with, that's when you start getting very high level. These different trading firms and whatnot can use Octave's data source on a high frequency level. So kind of different ways for everyone to interact, but even just the average day-to-day guy can log in and use it for free.
Dope. Okay. So thanks for breaking that down. Would you mind like kind of showing some of the features and how it would look from like a user UI standpoint?
Yeah. Let's pop this open here.
Cool.
Yeah, so this would be kind of starting off on the demo, just the standardized dashboard. It's going to look like a lot of other portfolio dashboards. You'll see all your assets across all. I think we have 15 wallets in this, and then we'll kind of walk through all the different things. So starting here, you get to see we have almost all of the main EVMs. We have all the main EVMs, but almost all EVMs. We have Solana support, we have Hyperliquid support, Starknet. And with this, you're able to kind of sort by the chain if you just want to see, your positions on Sonic. If you want to see your token balances, so these are just raw tokens you're holding, you can just pop up in your wallet and see it there based on per wallet. Like we said, we have about 15 in here. But then also with your DeFi positions, you can click those and see the breakdown. So let's see here. Let's do with Hyperliquid, you can see your raw balances, but also your live trades. So, the funding cost you've spent, your P&L, this person's not doing super well, as well as like with different DeFi protocols, everything's displayed kind of depending on what type it is, a liquidity pool, more like this. You get to see your rewards, your position, full well-rounded there. So that's the main dashboard. We have NFT support as well if you're tracking that, but not our specialty. We focus very heavily on DeFi. So with that, we have our
Yep. Quick question. So with the liquidity position, because we have a big community audience of yield farmers, right? And the sucky part is not everyone does their LPing through a hedge fund. So it makes it a spiritual experience, let's be honest, doing the taxes. It seems like for liquidity positions and yield farmers, this makes it a little easier to identify like certain taxable events.
Yeah, so we'll see that when we dive into the transactions. You're going to be able to see exactly where you claim, the cost basis on claims, your P&L and whatnot. This is live positions, so you're only seeing your unclaimed rewards up here. Did some shadow deposits just like 2 days ago, so not a lot stacking up here, but that's all. These are all the unclaimed. Once they're claimed, we have a transaction log that I'll show you in just a few minutes, and then that can be used for taxes very easily. So we'll dive into that.
Okay.
On the other kind of main parts about the dashboard, we have our token overview. So a fairly recent feature that we're still building out. So this is going to show you across both your wallet and your DeFi positions. So whether it's locked in a LP pool, is something staked, or you're just holding it raw, the token breakdown of what you hold. So the percentage in your wallet. We also show debt positions within this. This bundle doesn't have any, but you'd see a debt log right here in red. That's backwards. And then we have a push coming recently. You're going to be able to export this data as well for any day. That's coming in 2 days. So probably by the time this video is live. The other main part of the dashboard is our analytics. This is a pro feature. So the free users, anyone can go get that main dashboard that I showed for completely free. This is kind of a higher level thing. This comes with your pro subscription. So what we do is we take a snapshot report of your portfolio every day at midnight UTC, and you're going to be able to use that to chart the value over time. So different DAO protocols can use this to show how their treasury has been growing or shrinking, and you can make this publicly available. So in the management side of things, you can just do you want your analytics to be public? For an example, anyone can go to pro.octav.fi/beefy/treasury, and you can see their analytics public there. A lot of DAOs use it kind of as a transparency report to be able to show people what's going on. And then for any specific day, whether if you live in the UK, you usually need end of year reporting for your taxes. That's not something relevant in the US, but you can pull up any specific day here that we've captured, pop it open, and get a full NAV breakdown report in PDF or CSV. So you're going to have your overall, where's your funds? Is it, in your wallet? Is it in NFTs, which would include like LP positions through Uni, or the kind of protocol side? So, and then for each specific thing, you have your breakdown of the tokens that you held, the exact balance, the exact price and value at that day. So that way you can kind of look back and see how your wallet was built. Same for wallet positions, same for NFTs and protocol deposits. So you can see both your ones that are staked, but also your rewards within here. So if you pull this, the PDF view is easier to see. You can have this just to share with like investors or for yourself. But if you pull it into a CSV, you get even more data, lots of different lines there that have everything. So that's our NAV breakdown reports. Really great for DAOs, great for fund managers. If they have to do reporting on their holdings every day, they have the data stored here, or anyone who just kind of wants to generally share it. So that's the main dashboard side of things. We'll head over to the transactions. So you kind of mentioned LPs, so we can dive into that. for here, we'll see we have a claim right here. Was tested out. It's not that much money. What do we have here? Total value like 1 cent. I was closed a position, and so it auto claimed the rewards. But this gives a good kind of example. So what we do is with Octave is we have a machine learning algorithm that is using the human feedback from the users to understand what's going on chain. So when I first used Shadow, we didn't have the protocol or the transaction type attached to it. And so what you can do in here is go in, choose what it is. Let's say this one was a claim, and it was with Shadow. I already validated this. But if it was incorrect, you could put Uniswap in here, any protocol that you're interacting with, and then you validate it. And what that does is it goes back into our brain system, and users are going to benefit from this. So we learn from it, and then the next time someone interacts with Shadow, they do a claim, it's going to auto label it as a claim and auto label it as through Sonic. So we always interpret the contract that you're interacting with and the function on that contract for the transaction type. That's all data that we're learning from and growing all the time. You also additionally have your own private data that you can use to label things such as categories and notes. So if you wanted to apply an income category, a revenue category, a taxable event category, some businesses use it for invoices, and then you can put your invoice number here. Another great use case of what Beefy does is they use it to track their revenue. So they have automations built in place that anytime the money's coming from a key contract, it's auto labeled as global revenue. They can label it as the specific pool's revenue, and then they can export all that data and have a revenue breakdown report of all the different micro transactions they collected fees from. So usable on a lot of different levels. For an individual, it's just taxes. You have your pricing, your quantity, your cost basis, your P&L. But also for a company, it's on higher level bookkeeping or people who have hundreds of thousands of transactions. You can build out those automated tools there. So they're basically if-then statements that you can code to apply different labels and categories however you wish. So
that's cool, man. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Do you guys foresee yourself allowing people to, because when I see this, one thing that comes to mind that will make the process even easier than you guys are already making it is if someone's able to connect their wallet and say, okay, for example's sake, okay, I'm at 50% or 30% ETH, 40% Bitcoin, X% altcoins. I want to be at 20% ETH, 15% Bitcoin. Do you guys think you'll ever launch a feature where you'll be able to connect your wallet, select the weight that you want and all of these tokens? And, now they have the launch of Uniswap V4 hooks and Unichain to solve the liquidity fragmentation problem. So that way you guys can do you guys think you ever do something to where you can select the weight of assets you want in the portfolio? And maybe not one click at the beginning, but be able to say, hey, this is the weight I want, click a button, and it swaps everything for them.
Yeah, that's definitely something that could be done. It's kind of about how we would integrate into the project of right now. I'm on the pro tab, which this is sign in with email. So it's not connected to my wallet,
Oh, wow.
That's because, B2B side team members, you need 5 different people to log in. They don't have direct access to the wallet. If it's a multi-sig,
the wallet, like the bank, you just paste the address in there.
Yeah. And so that's on the pro side. And so because there's no wallet connectivity, you can't do any on-chain events really. It's just tracking the data after the fact. But we did start out with app.octave.fi. It's still live. And so eventually the app and the pro will merge. But currently they're kind of 2 separate products. That the app side, you do log in with your wallet, and we do have, I'm not sure if it's still live or not, but a closed position feature, open position feature. So that allows you to interact with your assets within the app. But because on the pro side, email login, you're able to track, safe, different multi-sigs, then there's no real way to interact with your assets. That way you can have your CFO, who maybe you don't actually want him to have wallet access, or your accountant, your the manager. You just want him to work with the data after the fact, do your taxes, work on that side. That way they don't have to log in with wallet. Now, that's definitely something that could be built. Now that the token overview is something that we released, that feature makes more sense as we expand kind of into that direction. So definitely something that could be done in the future, or something that someone could do off of our data set. If you built a DeFi app that called Octave API for the portfolio data, got a full breakdown report of your tokens, then you could go build an app that kind of automates that the weight system there. So
yeah, even auto rebalancing, like
mhm.
how like Finance does, and just be like, hey, for this month, at the end of the month, automatically rebalance me
Yeah.
to this. Like that'd be pretty
Yeah.
badass.
So yeah, we've been talking about the front end UI, but these are things that can be done super, I don't want to say easily. I know there's some contract work there, but you can fetch the portfolio data super easily through the API and build apps on top of that. So, we work with different people. We Parallel Wayfinder, Hello An or Hey Anon. These are, like chatbots that you can interact with, and what they do, they call the Octave data set to make sure you have the funds or that you're trying to do the interaction you are. So you could build a DeFi app similar to that, where it's calling Octave, checking the portfolio, getting the breakdown, and then using that data and adjusting off of it, doing the on-chain events. So if anyone's interested, maybe we'll do it someday, but you could do it tomorrow if it's you. So
Cool. No, I just wanted to ask that.
yeah, I guess just to finish up on the transaction side of things, there's really good filtering. And so what you could do is, if you're trying to track all your taxable events, you can filter by, here, we'll do transaction type, claim, apply filter. And this is going to be all your different claims on rewards. So these are all pretty much income, taxable as income in the US. And so that's one way you could do that. And then really, for people who are trying to use Octave for taxes, you're going to need to head into the reports. So we have our snapshot report, which is going to be the same thing that we saw with the analytics. It's going to be that full PDF breakdown. The key difference is you're making this manually, so you can make it at any point in time. It doesn't have to be midnight UTC. But then also we have the schedule and share feature. So you can set this up to send like a NAV breakdown report once a month, once a week. Let's say a CFO's in here doing kind of the hard work on the tax side of things, and the CEO wants a PDF sent to his email once a week where he gets a full breakdown of what he's holding. That's where you would use this feature. Or if an asset manager is trying to give a breakdown report to the 5 different liquidity providers they have, or investors, fund managers, all these different things, you can have it just automatically sent to them to leave that process to the machine. And then the other main type of report we have, I have too many tabs open. I swear it's not the website.
It's two types of people in this world, man. People with 1 or 2 tabs and people with thousands. I'm definitely the latter as well. So it's all
Yeah,
good.
I just have to make sure it's known that this is not a problem with the front end. This is a problem with my own habits. So, and then the other main type of report we have is the transaction report. So you're going to have the snapshot reports getting the data from the portfolio or the dashboard section. The transaction report is getting the data from the transaction section. And so this is going to be really useful for taxes, bookkeeping, compliance. If you're a business, you're trying to forecast out your revenue for the next 6 months. You take all the revenue data from the last 6 months, and then you can build off of that. So what it does is it pulls all that transaction data into a raw CSV. So your address, the transaction hash, the wallet that that did it, the network, the type of transaction it was, whether it's a swap, self-transfer, claim, all these different things, the protocol, the asset, the cost of the asset, the original cost basis of when you bought it. Then you can find the P&L there, in all of your different categories. So it goes super deep. You can use the filtering mechanisms here to build reports that are more fitting to you. So if you had, a revenue category or a claim category, then you can just filter by that, apply, and then just get a report of that. This is not super relevant here because I think we have one transaction labeled in income, but this is what, companies or DAOs can use to make specific reports to share with their community, investors. They can use it internally for taxes. So you can really break this down. It just depends how niche you want to make it. Date range, transaction type, all those different things. So that's a quick kind of walk through the product. The other thing is you have your main addresses and bundles. So you can add any address you want. And so you can use it for whale watching. I can put in your address just to see what you're up to. And then you only have to pay for the addresses that you want some of those pro features on, the analytics, the exporting, all of that. So I use it for whale watching. You can have different bundles. You can have like your SOL bundle, your EVM bundle, however you guys want to interpret that. That's how you can do it. So
No, that's dope, man. You guys are legit. And I knew you guys were legit because I got to get a close up on this. You guys are one of the only few projects that have embroidered
Yeah.
shirts, not that pasty bullshit.
Yeah. We had a lot of cool merch this year at ETH Denver. We had the embroidered shirts, we had embroidered Carhartt backpacks. We
Oh, I
had
missed that one.
Oh yeah, I think that was investors and clients. We gave a little package. They had
Okay, makes sense. I was
embroidered
gonna say
Carhartt
I
backpacks.
got there early.
We had my screen's not gonna pick it up super well, but
Oh,
we
I
have
can see it.
embroidered Octave ledgers. So we went big on Denver this year, and I like to give back to the teams we work with. So
Nice, man. Well, before we wrap it up here, do you have any new features that you guys are launching and or anything else that you want to share or people to be aware of?
yeah, probably the main thing is our API. Originally the first couple of years, Octave was very focused B2C. We were working with the average consumer. That way they could come work on the algorithm. They gave their feedback on the data side of things, and that's how we interpreted the chain. Now we're working more B2B with different businesses that now that the product and the algorithm are built out super well. But kind of the next stage for Octave is really going deep on the data with the API. So it's a fairly new product. We've been basically making it available through an endpoint, not just through the front end. But it's been growing insanely quick, and we're working with some amazing teams there. So if anyone would like to get set up on the API and kind of follow along with us on that journey and build it out, that would be amazing. So you can use it for treasury pages. You can use it to build entire new products. There's a lot of opportunity there. And the other key thing is our automations. We kind of custom built that for Beefy when they came on board, and we work closely with them. But we're growing that all the time. So being able to automate these things for people who bought trade or just general users, businesses, anyone really, being able to automate a lot of this bookkeeping saves you a tremendous amount of time. So if you're a business who needs that, please reach out and we'll get you set up.
Sweet, man. Well, cool, man. What is your Twitter so people know where to find you? I'll also put it in the description.
Yeah. So for Octave, I think it's Octav.Fi. And then for me personally, it's ATTRIUS_. So Atrius_.
Perfect. Well, hey, man, AJ, I appreciate you coming on. I love what you guys are doing, what you guys are building. As you guys have more updates and you guys want to talk about it, get the word out, you guys are always welcome back on the channel, man. So I appreciate the time. And I think this video will help a lot of people.
Yeah. Thank you for having us, man. We're happy to get the word out and get more people using Octave. So.
Oh, yeah, man, let's do it. Well, hey, take care. Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll maybe see Octave again as they keep shipping.
See you guys.